Welcome back to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Now, I have decided this time to show you exactly what this enter the current time thing is. But it told me that I could choose my favorite time. And I actually have an answer for that, weirdly enough. Boop. 2:22 p.m. Your favorite time of the day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 2:22 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 2:22 p.m.? Not accurate, inaccurate. So, you know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip up a couple new ones. Should be ready the next time you boot up the game. And we keep the new start screen. Let us begin. Alright, which way am I going to go this time? I once again forgot to do the computer secret. Let's see. Should I pick up the bucket or should I not pick up the bucket? I'm not going to pick up the bucket.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope. Oh my god, they actually put them in.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. I wonder where they've hidden them.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He
Now I've
considered
gotta
the
look for
possibility
them.
of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken
Give me
that
a cold
risk?
drink.
All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
No.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled.
Of course.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt
Of course.
to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
What a
And he
relief.
thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Yeah.
So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly
Stop breaking the
strange.
fourth wall.
I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
What do you
How
mean?
could it be?
No, of course,
Was
it
Stanley
has to
simply
be.
deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
No.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Yeah, it has to be.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
There's no
this
logical
voice was a part of
explanation for that.
himself
Come on.
too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
I
that
am
this
in
was
control.
a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he
Yes.
invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Yeah.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
It is.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
Mm-hmm.
I am normal.
Yes.
Everything will be fine.
Yes.
I am okay.
Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me
Somebody
I'm
help
real.
me.
I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
And then he died that day.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings,
Who is
and walked
Mariella?
to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
I
And
see.
although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how
I
lucky
mean,
she
how do you know
was to be
you're not the
normal.
crazy one?
I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
It's rather
It was
presumptuous of
comforting
you.
to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well, I mean, good luck, lady. Hope it goes well for you. It's a very long ending. I could pick up the bucket. There's probably new stuff down the bucket route. Let me continue doing some of the old stuff.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm trying to remember what is down this path. Oh yeah, that's right. The
Stanley
red
was
door.
so bad at... Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Okay.
Give me a chance.
I
now
trust
listen
you.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I trust you.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
Oh,
The
I just
problem is all
remember
these
what ending this
choices.
is.
The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
Yup.
Don't
Running
you
in
see that
circles.
it's killing us, Stanley?
Mhm.
I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier
I'm not
if
stopping.
we just stopped.
I'm not stopping.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Ah. Cool. Okay.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Yes.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's
The
beautiful,
Zen Zone.
isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Happy. I could stay here forever. Isn't it beautiful? Sublime. I'm bored of it.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Yes.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
I'm not the biggest fan of this ending, to be honest.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. There's no way for me to avoid this. I'm sorry.
No! Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Sure thing, buddy.
There. See?
Zen.
This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
You're right. You're right. Back up the stairs.
No, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
I don't know, man.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Mm-hmm. Oh, am I actually walking slower? I don't remember that from the original.
Yes. Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Zen.
I know you'll see. You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Yeah. I like how there's no stars up on like the very top. Like it really is just a cylindrical skybox.
No, perhaps not.
I'm sorry, buddy.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
I'm sorry. You're making me feel so bad.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
That's for me to know and for you to never find out.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
Maybe it is still possible. Maybe. Whee!
Is it over?
Oh.
It's going to restart, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back.
Sorry, dude. I'm gonna pick up the bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
I'm gonna do the true ending and see if there's any different
Stanley clutched the bucket
things
tightly to his
with the
chest
bucket.
and entered the door on his left.
Because I can only assume that this bucket is gonna take us down. More paths. Agenda. How can you tell if you've spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Fig leaves are hard to find. 416? Red room? Are these hints for all of them? Trust the completionist's instinct. Oh, believe me. Oh. Inside of a sequel exhibit. Yeah, I found that one. A large room, lots of boxes. Red and blue, near a fireplace, a private but smelly place for an important person. Gotcha. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lie! Stop kidding yourself. I want them so much. I want to go home. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Who are you? Okay, well, thank you for the hints. Broom Closet.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's
No.
as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can
How
really feel it
can
now.
you?
It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
No.
Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in.
I will
Don't
never.
hand over the bucket.
Never.
I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
Dare you?
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined.
I know,
And
right?
wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial
What?
and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner?
No
Well, I
way.
never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together.
This
Go through each
bucket
of
is
them
my
point
best
by point.
friend.
Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have
Bucket.
it.
This bucket is my best friend. How dare you say any different? Me and this bucket have been through so
Okay,
much together.
I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, Broom Closet, with all
Yeah.
your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
You see that? Do you read that, Broom Closet? That's my name.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You
Yeah.
see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also
How
a
did you
bucket.
stick the sticker underneath
That
the first
way,
sticker?
if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, It's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Yeah. You got some good thoughts, Mr. Narrator.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the Broom Closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay. Anything else? No? Well, good day.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No, I'm gonna go downstairs, actually.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Yeah.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Is this just going to be the same, except I have a bucket?
To himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms.
Oh.
Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
In times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket?
Sticker.
This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
No.
Oh, gracious.
Oh, God.
He exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad.
There's no way.
Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
I'm coming for you, buddy.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the
my
next.
God.
None
Oh, God.
of them were his. None of them
There
were his
actually are so
special
many
bucket.
buckets.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
I'm
He
trying.
had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
Where?
The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
Oh, God.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Oh,
But
my
on this
God.
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem
He didn't have his
was.
bucket.
This man had
You're
no
right.
bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home.
My
in the first place.
mistake.
How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Good for you, Mariella. I'm proud of you. Man, what is it with this game in buckets?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, good. The
The
stickers stay.
confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yeah, no.
No.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door
Should
on
I
his
do the
left
confusion
to go
ending
back
with the
to
bucket?
meeting room.
No, let's do...
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite
Yeah, let's do
door.
this. I wonder if this is going to be any different. I mean, I think all of these are going to be different because we have the bucket, right?
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Okay.
You see, your
This
friends
is
and
an
I are
intervention,
concerned
isn't
for
it?
you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around
But
everywhere.
this is my favorite
The
bucket.
bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content.
don't care.
We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
But
Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
okay, sure. That sounds great. What's in the broom closet? What's in the broom closet? Anything? Good to see you, Mr. Broom Closet. Missed you. Goodbye, wife. Goodbye, child. I'm going on an adventure and you're not invited. Wait. One of the figures is by a fireplace. I thought it was the boss's fireplace, but maybe it's here? Maybe not. Fine, let's go.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yeah. Love that song.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
You're
Don't
right.
you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic
times.
now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
What? What do you mean? Oh, no, you are not taking this away from me. This is my friend.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
I disagree.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you
Maybe.
don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Never. You can't make me. You
Now
can't
listen
make
to
me.
me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying
it.
buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were
I'm
to
scared
really
of it.
explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset
Never.
now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the bucket destroyer until you crush that damn bucket.
Never.
Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh my god.
The bucket destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Now you know how I feel about the bucket. Fiend. Okay, well, what happens if I actually do give it the bucket
Even
now?
now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it
Yeah.
a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
I don't know. But
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
yeah.
Can you guess what the bucket destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Okay.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your
I'm
bucket.
trying.
Destroying buckets to join the
Can I
pantheon of
actually
beloved
not?
Stanley Parable characters. Under what
I guess
sort
I
of bucket
can't.
destroyer merchandise? The fans will be upset now.
I'm
You'll have to
sorry, I'm
hurry and
trying my
feed it.
hardest.
We can't get back to the camp.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Whoa.
Stanley
That's
decided
new.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's...
No matter how hard
Oh, God,
Stanley
all the
looked,
computers
he
say it.
couldn't find a trace of his
Oh, God.
co-workers.
It's a little scary. Aha. You.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Can I go back in here and get new dialogue?
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But
Okay.
alas, no stickers.
So sad.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You. Yes.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Mini
Stanley
stands.
figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes,
Oh.
I think I like that. Another
Yes.
Stanlerine under your belt.
I like how that sounds. Okay. Oh. This door didn't open before. Oh wait, no it did. I remember this. Where are we going? Oh, this is royalty-free music, isn't it? I remember it. What is it? Why is it only in my left ear? Okay, I've had enough. And it doesn't even take you anywhere.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
No.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Ah, thank you, Bucket.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
No, I'm ignoring you, actually.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Pretty sure that dialogue is just repeating from the normal route. 2845.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes. Of course. Oh. Gotcha.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think,
Figlies.
Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I found it. Okay. Deeper we go.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
It can't be.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
What did we get ourselves into, Bucket?
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Everything's gonna be okay, little buddy. Little buddy. Oh, the horror.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
This bucket is my only friend.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Yes.
Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Let's do it, buddy.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes! They had done it!
We did it!
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Yeah.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
Why?
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No, you can't take him from me.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
Yeah.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
But... Oh. Well, I guess that's the end of that. There you are. Okay. Should I do another old ending? What have I not done yet?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I guess there is also the other ending at the control panel.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Oh.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Chill music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
That's what you think.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah?
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If
What
you
makes
want
you
to
think
throw
I would
my
do
story
that?
off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes.
Oh, God.
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
You have
It's
3
your
cents
time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious
there must
moment
be a way
each
to
one
stop.
of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
What do all these buttons
What's that?
mean?
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
No.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost
no,
hate
we're
to
running
see
out of
it
time.
go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Oh, thank you.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley?
Where's the first
Is
button?
it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it
Breathe.
off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door.
No, there must be
Everything,
a way.
anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won?
Yeah.
Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley. You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless.
How cruel.
To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
No.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
That one gets kind of intense, you see. Okay, let's go back there with the bucket.
How long was I sitting there?
Oh.
Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Just looking around for that computer. One of them is actually in the boss's office. So,
The good old bucket.
Good
Just
old bucket.
Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
I found most of them. There's 2 more left. Large room, lots of boxes. Some were both red and blue. Are you here? You are.
Reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Does that one say pirate up there?
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exist.
On.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror.
Could you?
Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this?
Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
What?
Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Birds?
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. At the bucket
This is
nose
top
all
secret
wrong,
information.
Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
Look at all those
Of
silly
all
birds.
the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
This is the best ending.
And Stanley was happy.
I found true happiness in this world. Okay, there is one more input computer.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
No, they're stopped. Boop. Okay. So in that case, let's do another ending we've done before.
Today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Where are we going, actually?
No,
Said the bucket.
No.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift
So
all the
not
way to the
there.
top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I love you, Bucket.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Of course, why would my bucket friend ever betray me?
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
But what if I don't want to? Okay, I trust you.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And
Yeah.
then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
I know what that says. I love my bucket, I think. I like blank. I can't read it. Bucket. Hello, Stanley, it's me. Pressing you to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
This really is just this game's version of the companion cube, isn't it? Press J to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
What do you mean? This is just a man in his bucket. Press X to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
And that's a
it.
damn
It doesn't
useful
do
thing
anything
it can
else.
do. Don't listen to the loud man. Press T to take us back home.
You see, he's not listening. is still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal.
This thing right here is a cut thing from the original game, I think. This clock-looking thing. It was in the telephone ending. Wait, where's the bucket? Oh, there you are. Press B to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Do you understand why this bucket is wonderful? You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press K to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Yeah. Press V to relive this same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Because it is. Press G to go home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket?
Are you kidding me?
Hear what the bucket
my
has
God.
to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Sir, this is a bucket.
Stanley, give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me. Give me the
No.
bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Oh, this game. Boop. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Button. This is the best day of my life. Well, now that we've reached the best ending, I do believe it is time for me to wrap this up. Until next time on the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Bye-bye.